because if the bend is sharp, very long vessel, it's difficult to maneuver. And there, of course, in inland waters, weight is not a very important factor, but still, you can, from the materials, etc., you can set some parameters. Current can be very dangerous in monsoon for a vessel to go upstream, and then you also classify based on seasons as well as traffic. Some waterways can be high traffic. Then I told about the dredging. You can see all the pointer. So you see all this from the Google map. You see all these are basically sandbanks accumulated over the years. What happens in Bangladesh every year in monsoon? A lot of fresh sand and silt comes from upstream. But if you do not properly treat them, they get accumulated, and your inland waterways getting blocked by all these new sandbanks. But you can, having them here, you can have a good planning to get them somewhere else to create more offshore islands, to get more areas. Especially for those people who lose all their livelihood overnight due to the erosion of the river. I talked about innovative ship design. You know, in Europe, how they're building ships. I think some of you might have seen. This is a big chain on the offshore shuttle vessel. They call it X-bar. I mean, I give an example that people are thinking differently. You know, you don't have to do things which you have been doing for 20 years. You can always think out of the tunnel, out of the box. Yeah? This is a ship. I mean, many of you know that this is another name of these ships in Bangladesh. They call them rocket, but I don't know why they call them rocket. But this is a ship I show it here because this is something inspired me to think about some safety of passenger vessels. I think I have never heard a single of them has ever capsized. Has anyone heard that any one of those vessels capsized? And why they did not? You know, that's the reason people should think that. And this is because of that. The two floaters you see here, these two paddles, what you see there, the original hull is a very slim hull. These are all extended deck with two paddles here. This is basically I simulate on this two. So if you have a vessel now, passenger vessel with a single, very slim single hull with two outriggers, I cannot say that the vessel will not sink because I am not the person to dictate that. There is someone above all of us, but you suddenly reduce the accidents, what you are happening in Bangladesh, I can tell you that. Then we can go for a lot of inland and coastal ports. We have some ports, but they are very underdeveloped. We should get some facilities, drainage facilities, some storage facilities, some supply chain logistics. We have to bring all these things for developing ports and to raise awareness of making water transport or carrying consumer goods in the water transport, not in the road transport, you know. Because carrying goods in the road is not good for cost as well as for the climate. The gas, the CNG you use in the road can be used also in the inland water transport also, as I'll tell you later. That is floating warehouses. This is one of the concepts I thought would be very good for Bangladesh, especially in the southern part of Bangladesh, where you have everywhere water. These floating warehouses could be built and can be used as an offshore, as a storage and for transfer from these floating warehouses to the smaller, feeder places in the interior. So renewable energy going this way. So I'm talking of the renewable energy. I mean, not exactly this way. I mean, this has been a very common picture in managing and water. But they are getting less and less. I was here in August trying to find most of them, but you can't find them because everyone is now mechanized very easily. So renewable energy doesn't mean that you have to use shale. You can use all this, improve operations, minimize power resistance, improve propulsion and steering. Yesterday, one of the presentations you saw that single is through with two rudders. That is the exact steering solution for Bangladesh inland water vessels, especially cargo vessels. If you go to Holland, you will see all the inland cargo vessels are with that kind of steering. Yeah? And adapt fairway, that means you use current and wind in the way. Yeah? And also make use of alternative fuels. One is CNG. Last few months back, I had one friend they're thinking of using CNG. World Bank is thinking of using CNG for inland waters in Bangladesh. Yeah. But though there are plenty of gas in Bangladesh, it's been widely used for road transport, including the buses and trucks. But when you go into water transport, you should be very careful because gas CNG is not available all over the country. Yeah? So if you try to change it, then you have to make it dual fuel, both CNG and diesel you have to use. Develop low resistance carbon, and the existing fleet what you have, I can tell you they are very, very less efficient because of their shape, because they're just indigenous way people build them, and just any vessel can be float. And put the propeller, you put a rudder, it can steer, it can propel. If you change all the ships, proper bow and proper stern, to increase the weight and everything, you should be able to get most of our weight. And these vessels are very beamy vessels, actually. These vessels can be very long. Yeah? So you can immediately get some improvement. Yeah? And also you can use efficient propulsion system as well. Offshore islands, just what I mentioned before, that every monsoon you get a lot of silt from the upstream. And if you know that in Bangladesh, the people talk about using dredgers, they all use the Tata suction dredgers. I don't know whether they are aware of any other type of dredger, but Tata suction dredgers are quite good for hard soil. But for soft sand, you don't use Tata suction dredger. You use upper trailer suction dredger. Then you can take all the soft sand and then you can bring somewhere else. Even maybe government level, they can think of selling this sand to Singapore, because Singapore is now having problem to get sand from Indonesia. They are going up to Myanmar to get sand to Singapore. Why not Bangladesh? That is the important thing for the, I put a couple of slides. At the moment, you have a diploma in marine technology in Bangladesh. You have graduates in naval architecture, mainly engineering. Here, you have a couple of, one or two main academy for inland ships as well as for shipbuilding. But I think it's time for Bangladesh to have a very comprehensive, centralized maritime university to bring everything under one control, where you can share the resources and you can have a very good planning. You can start with, one of the things I can see that here, though the department name is naval architecture and marine engineering, but I don't see a single academics to have a PhD in marine engineering. Yeah? Even in the world, many places you will see professors in this body hanging around, because even in the whole world there is a big shortage of good marine engineers in the academic level. Very shortage, I can tell you, it is very true. Maybe compared to naval architects, they are not even 5%. You know? So it is good to promote this branch of engineering as well. Right? And this is the two both sides we need, because nowadays ships are getting more electronic, so electrical engineers are very important for running ships. Mechatronics is also very important. You know the contribution of the naval architects in building or designing a ship is very important, but right at the beginning, but when the execution of the building, because I worked many years in shipyard, it's not the naval architect. Well, a naval architect can be a good mechanical engineer also, there's nothing wrong. But there is a lack of people, even countries like Singapore, and they suffer because of that, in pre-commissioning, commissioning. So this is also a very, very important branch of engineering. Then you have offshore engineering. One day Bangladesh might have gas and oil from the offshore, but does anybody thinking about that? Because anything you in the future you don't think now, then you have a shortage of people. Then these are the studies also, because run the big shipping companies, all these important items.